Guys, welcome to the Colonie Center Mall here in Colonie, Albany, New York. Let's go inside and let's go check it out, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to the Colonie Center Mall, which is here right in Albany and New York. Now, this is my second time filming this mall. I did film it in 2020, but the video was just awful. It was on my phone at the time, and I wasn't very good at filming, and it was a short, not good video. So when I was here in January, headed up to New England, I had to make a return trip and do another video for you all. And I'm still not, the best filmer, but I can say I'm definitely a lot more impressed with this video that I did, and I hope that you all enjoy it. This is a lovely little mall here. It's not super huge. It's a 2-level mall, but it's still not big lengthwise. And it still has a good amount of variety of both local and national chains. Now, on to the history of the Colonie Center Mall. This was the first ever mall to be built in the New York capital region area. As many of you know, Albany is the state capital in New York State, as it is only 5 miles or so right from the center city, right where the state capital is here in Albany. It's officially in the town of Colonie, and it used to be a former club. When this mall opened up in 1966, it had 2 original anchors, which was a massive Sears store, 2-level Sears store, and a 210,000, which is even bigger, Macy's store. Just like I mentioned back in the Macy's video, this was the only upstate market in New York State to ever get a Macy's that was built as a Macy's. It was not, something else like, a Kaufman's or Strawbridge's or a Hacks. This was, they wanted to come here. This is where they wanted to go. Although, as you'll hear later on, that original building when the Macy's was originally built is not what is now Macy's, as they would do a remodel in the mall, and we'll get there in a few minutes here, but the Macy's, it would end up moving to what its current spot is. And this mall, it was originally and developed, ironically, they officially listed as the Hormart and Development, which, interesting fact about that, it was a subsidiary of Sears and Roebuck. So that is right. Sears basically built this entire mall. And that was a common thing back in the 60s and 70s, where the big and department stores, they were actually mall developers. And the May Company did this. I believe JCPenney did it a few times. Belk, I'm not sure if they did it, but I know Sears did for sure, definitely did it. So kind of unique that you could basically say Sears helped build this mall. They had another company that was officially called, but they basically did. It was actually the 5th mall that was ever built by them. Some of the charter tenants, they were a Zales Jewelers, a Suburban Gale, a Barnsider Restaurant, Tower Clothes for Men, and the Colonie Cafeteria, which was there and before there ended up being a food court there. Now, just like I mentioned, this was the first mall built here in the Albany area, but over the next couple decades, there'd be many malls that would be a direct in competition to it, including the one that was in Clifton County Mall, and the Mohawk Mall, the Latham Corner Center, which became the Latham Circle Mall, and the biggest competition came in the mid-1980s, where the Crossgates Mall, which is the other massive mall that I ended up mentioning, that's only a few miles down the road from the Colonie Center, and has continued to compete with it through all this time. And honestly, but when it comes to these 2 malls, I think actually Colonie Center is going to be around longer. Yes, it's not as full as the Crossgates, but the main reason why I think is because if you know anything all about Crossgates Mall, and I did film the mall a couple years ago in 2022, was that is a pyramid mall. And if any of you have seen what is going on and with the Pyramid Company, they don't seem to do well. They're actually selling another one of their malls, which I already also filmed, that was in Watertown. So due to that, I can see them eventually getting rid of the Crossgates Mall, and we don't know who the new owner is going to be. The Colonie Center, on the other hand, it is currently owned locally, and it's still doing okay. I mean, it does have two of the strong anchors of the Macy's and the Boscovs, and that does help. And the Sears is kind of being redeveloped. It's not using a mall access, but they do have tenants in there. So I don't see this mall going anywhere. Yes, it's having some, struggles, especially down in the Sears wing, but as many of you know, from me, and from the other people, anytime that there's a former Sears at the mall, the wing where Sears used to be seems to be the deadest part, and I wonder why. It's pretty obvious because, Sears has been dying for a long time. Now, the first major and remodel of this mall came in 1989, officially in May. This was done in 3 different phases. The first phase was where they completely built a brand new 3-level, 305,000 square foot Macy's, which was dedicated on October 3rd, 1990. And that is where Macy's and currently is. So that Macy's building that you saw was built in 1990, was not the original one. And during phase 2, the original Macy's was completely gutted and rebuilt as 60 inline stores, including what is now in the 10-bay food court. So where the food court is, that was originally Macy's. Phase 3 of the remodeling added a 2-level, 86,000 square foot Ashley Park, New Jersey-based Steinbach. This store had made its debut in October of 1991. The $68 million mall remodel concluded with a $75 charity gala. So that is kind of cool that they did that. And this was a really hard work to remodel. And you don't normally see a 3-phase in remodel. And the fact that they added in 2 basically brand new anchors. And yes, I know Macy's was there, but it was a completely brand new building. And they added the other department store. Really made it grow. And as the 90s rolled on, it continued to do well. As when the remodel was done, it now composed of 1,177,000 leasable space, and it has surpassed the 875,000 square feet that the Crossgates Mall in size. So you notice that they were competing with them, and they did this remodel to help over-raise it, as the pyramid company at this time was doing quite well. The next mall enlargement involved the expansion of 2 existing spaces, a 30,000 square foot store on the upper level that became a Harmon's World of Sporting Goods and was enlarged by 20,000 square feet, which that later became a Christmas tree shop, which if you know about Christmas tree shops, they have completely went out of business. This one closed along with the rest of them in 2023. And then a multiplex cinema was considered as a replacement for the Steinbach, which closed in 1995. But those plans were actually scrapped, and that's where the 2-level, 240,000 square foot Reading-based Boscovs and made its Albany and debuted, as many of you know, and they now have 2 locations. The other one is in Clifton Park, which I filmed a couple weeks ago. Well, I filmed it in January, but put up a couple weeks ago. So that's where Boscov came into play, and those were the 3 major anchors. You had a Macy's, a Boscov's, and you had Sears at the other end. And the Christmas tree shops, that was basically considered a junior anchor. I just wanted to go over that again because I know there's been changes and stuff like that. And the next part of the history was the third and final phase of the Colonie Center makeover, was the construction of a Regal Colonie Stadium 13 multiplex built on the 3rd level of the top of the mall's and main entrance, the new movie house, and premiered on May 16th, 2008. With its latest renovation, and Colonie Center has cemented its position as premier shopping center in Greater Albany, as its leasable area, which is what it currently sits at, is 1,340,000 square feet, which any mall that's over 1 million square feet is quite large, and 1.3, this place is just, it's, even though that I said in the original video that it's not super huge, and it doesn't feel as huge as a Crossgates Mall, but if you include just the pure size of the 2 anchor stores, as well as the former Sears space, that takes up more than half of it, so the mall itself doesn't look as big. And by the way, this right behind this directory there, that's where the former Sears was. Feynman Mall Properties, which was short on cash during the mall's extensive renovation, brought in Chicago-based Hetzman Value Partners as a co-owner in 2006, and they would later become the 100% owner of the mall. And in 2013, the new owner was a joint venture of New York City-based KKR and El Figo, California Pacific Retail. But in the 2010s, there was some trouble for this mall as Sears originally and downsized their store and remodeled it. And it actually looked really, really nice. And I believe if you go back on my channel, you can see when the Sears was abandoned, it had the brand new sign. But the part that Sears ended up getting rid of, that later became a Whole Foods Market, which opened this in 2014. But sadly, Sears would not make it very long, and the Sears would end up closing on September 17th of 2017. The remainder of the Sears and lower level was divided in two ways, as it became a Floor & Decor and it became a Sierra outdoor goods store, although they do not use and mall access, as you saw in the video. The part that was Sears mall access is completely walled off. I don't know if they had plans to put something there. I don't know. If any of you see my video later on and know what's going on, and feel free to comment down below. And then, of course, I mentioned in 2023, that's when Christmas tree shops also closed, but that was not their fault because the whole company ended up going and defunct and is now out of business. So despite it losing two major anchors, this place has continued to do and relatively well for itself, and the food court is full of life, and the movie theater is still there. You still have most of your big-time national chains. Yes, a few have left, but a lot of them are just because of, and bankruptcies and there's mergers. Like, I know that this mall did lose FYE last year, but honestly, FYE's been struggling for a long time, so them losing it here isn't really this mall's fault. It's just FYE as a company has been failing for a long time. Although I will mention, though, FYE was actually originally invented here in the Albany area, which is kind of interesting. So, well, they weren't invented here, but their headquarters used to be here, and they do only have one store left in the area. In any event, though, I've been talking for 12 minutes, and my voice is getting tired. I'm going to play music in the rest of the video. But feel free to just comment down below and what your overall thoughts are of this mall, if you want to see it and continue to do well. Do you see it, staying around for a long time? And do you see it outliving Crossgates? I would love to hear what you all have to say. I've been getting better at responding to comments. But in any event here, I am gonna sign off. Some music in the rest of the video. I will talk to you all in the next video, which stay tuned. You never know where that will be. This channel, we travel all over the East Coast and Mid-Atlantic and even down south, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, I will talk to you all later, and bye-bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the video.